And whenever we were having a get-together or some sort of little party, especially on weekends, and then he would play Music Express, the music that we love or the music that we could dance to. So I want to say happy 50th anniversary to Radio Cayman, the best in the land.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to The Buzz. It is Thursday, June 18th. I cannot believe how fast June is flying by. And World Cup just started a week ago, right? You know, I want to say Silver Fox walked into the studio this morning, said good morning as I was setting up here. And he said, oh, wow, Croatia got some licks yesterday. And I just want everybody to know we are not worried about England winning yesterday. England has a huge pool of players, millions more people to choose from compared to the little tiny country of Croatia. I'm going to say this. Half of my family is Croatian, so yes, I have an allegiance to Croatia. This is how I feel. I also want to point out that Ajesh, our engineer here, said, Kathy, Argentina lost the first game in the last World Cup and went on to win the World Cup. So Croatia is not worried. We beat England in 2018. Might I remind all the England fans to go to the finals. So that's my reminder there. Croatia, we are going to make it. Don't worry. So I hope everybody else is enjoying the World Cup so far. And I'm going to ask my guest if he has a team that he's interested in. But before I ask that, let me introduce him. We are going to be talking about parametric insurance. So if you're a homeowner or if you own a vehicle in the Cayman Islands, this is something that you want to learn about because we do have a hurricane season. It just started a few weeks ago, June 1st. It's going to go until the end of November now. It got kind of extended in recent years. And we are no strangers to hurricanes hitting the Cayman Islands or passing by. And thankfully, we haven't had a big one in recent years. And hopefully that will still be going forward. We won't see a big one. That's what we can all hope and pray for at least. But in the event, you got to make sure that you are covered, you're prepared. So we're going to learn about what parametric insurance coverage is from CINICO. And today's guest, I have Michael Gayle. He's the CEO of CINICO. To give it a little bit of a background, and sometimes I ask the guest to give the background, but I love this bio here on our guest. So Michael Gayle is the Chief Executive Officer of CINICO and a veteran insurance professional with over 46 years of experience in the general insurance industry. He also serves on the board of the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility, CCRIF, a regional organization providing parametric catastrophe insurance solutions to governments across the Caribbean and Central America. His experience in both traditional and parametric insurance helped form CINICO's development of its innovative parametric coverage for homeowners and motor policyholders, positioning Cayman as one of the first markets in the region to offer this type of protection to consumers. And it's a very interesting product, if I say so myself. So good morning, Michael. How are you doing?
Morning, Kathy. I'm delighted to be here.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the show. It's your first time on The Buzz with me, and I'm happy to have you. And I know we're gonna have a great talk, but as I said, I preempted by saying I'm going to ask if you have a team in the World Cup that you're following. You can't say England.
So traditionally, Jamaicans support Brazil.
Yes.
That's where my heart is. However, Brazil now is not the Brazil of old. So at this point in time, rather than having a World Cup favorite, I'm watching with interest and enjoying the games. Having said so, stepping outside the World Cup, Arsenal.
Okay, all right. And didn't Arsenal do really well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Arsenal won the league this year. That's why I had to sneak it in.
Yeah, I got you.
It's been 22 years, so we have to fly the flag.
Oh, well, congratulations. 22 years. That's huge. Great one right there. I feel you. Well, my team's Canada. Canada plays today against Qatar, Croatia. And who's that? I had the third team. Oh, my gosh, I forgot the third team. There's a third team that I forgot, but also Curacao. Because
And Canada has a few Jamaicans represented.
Yes,
so
they do. They do, yes. So you're on Canada.
There you
too.
go.
I feel you. I feel you. All right. So let's get to what we're here to talk about today, which is about parametric insurance offered by CINICO. So we're going to get a bit of a background on CINICO before we begin. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that a lot of people still think of CINICO primarily as the health insurer for government, but it's a lot more than that. So can you describe to us how CINICO has transformed over the years.
Okay, so I like to think of CINICO as a different type of insurance company. When CINICO was created 22 years ago, the objective at that point in time was to offer more than health insurance, but for the first X number of years, it was focused primarily on health insurance. So what we are doing now is stepping into more of the original objective of CINICO. It is fortuitous from the government's point of view. I joined CINICO a little under 7 years ago, and the bulk of my background is actually in property and casualty, more so even than in health insurance. So when the then Minister of Finance and Deputy Premier, Chris Saunders, asked if we were able to expand the scope of our operations, I said yes right away, because that was something that was my forte.
Okay, you had that in your foresight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now what prompted CINICO to expand into the home and motor insurance?
So consequent upon that request, going into property and casualty or general insurance, we have to do it in a measured manner. And therefore, we determined that what we would do is to try to start the ball rolling by meeting the needs of the private consumer first rather than the commercial consumer. So we don't offer at this moment any commercial insurance at all. We have started in a small and structured and measured way. We're offering homeowners insurance. We started offering motor insurance in March 2024. And then by August of that year, we started to offer homeowners insurance.
Okay. I actually called CINICO sometime last year to get a quote because one of the favorite things I had heard about CINICO when I had previous representatives on that told me that if you're in an accident, for example, and you were hit and it's not your fault,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was your premium won't go up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm correct in saying that?
Yeah.
And that was music to my ears because I had just gotten hit, I think, twice.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't my fault, and my premium had gone up incredibly.
So typically, insurance companies have a no-claim bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are involved in an accident and it can be demonstrated that you were not at fault, we won't penalize you for that.
Yes, I thought that was great. That was excellent.
So
I did call for a quote.
Did you take out the insurance with us?
I did not.
Oh, naughty.
Because it came a tiny bit higher than the insurance company I was with. So I was hoping it was going to come a little bit lower and I was going to make the switch. So
there's the perception.
Now I know the CEO.
Fair enough. But there's the perception that because we're a government-owned company, we are expected to offer cheap insurance. We don't do cheap. That's not a word that I like. Cheap.
I don't like it
cheap.
either.
Cheap speaks to quality. We are a high-quality insurance company. There will be instances where our quotation is going to be lower than others, but that is because that's how we have assessed it, not because we are setting out to be the cheapest. That's not on our agenda at all. And when we get to the homeowners product, which we're going to speak about in a little while, you will find that there will be instances where it is a little more costly than other options on the market, but it's not an apples-for-apples comparison. Our product is unique. There is no other product like it, not only in Cayman, not only in the region, but as far as we're able to ascertain, nowhere else in the world is there a product quite like this.
Okay, well, when you say unique, what makes it so unique?
So you touched in my introductory bio about my participation on CRIF. I'm actually, as of the 1st of this month, I'm the deputy chair of CRIF. Now, CRIF is an acronym for the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility. It was created in 2007 in the aftermath of the devastation that Hurricane Ivan caused here and in Grenada and in other territories. And countries in the region recognized the need for some sort of insurance response to help mobilize funds to initiate repairs. The typical insurance process involves a long process of, getting estimates and preparing costs and having them assessed. And in some instances, it's months before any funds are put in place. So 16 Caribbean countries had conversations with the World Bank, and a number of other multilateral institutions, governments of Canada, UK, Japan, Germany, I think maybe. And CRIF was formed to offer parametric insurance solutions to these territories. We are now up to 19 Caribbean territories, 4 Central American countries, and a number of, shall we say, sovereign adjacent, near sovereign entities such as public utilities, which in some instances are privately owned, but in respect of which the consequences of them suffering damage will have impact on government. So we offer coverage to those as well. At the moment, we're offering coverage across the region somewhere to the tune of $1.5 billion. In the 17 years since we've been in existence, we have made claim payments totaling almost $500 million, including, you may recall, Hurricane Melissa devastated sections of Jamaica last year. CRIF made a payment to the Jamaican government of $92 million US within 14 days of the event. All of our payments are made within 14 days. So the objective is not to meet the cost of the devastation, because the devastation in Jamaica, for example, ran into billions of dollars. There are other things in place to deal with that. But in the aftermath of an unexpected event, whether it be a government or a homeowner, you're facing unexpected costs and you need money to be able to respond to those costs right away. So we put $92 million into the coffers of the Jamaican government, which was able to put them in a position to respond very quickly to start the restoration process. The year before, the government of Grenada got $55 million, which in the scheme of things, given the relative size of Grenada compared to Jamaica, was more impactful for them than it was for Jamaica. Now, the difference between parametric insurance and conventional insurance is, as the name implies, parametric insurance responds to what we would call parametric triggers, a certain set of circumstances which cause the policy to respond. So in our case, we have 2 triggers in our policies. One is that there has to be a storm of at least category 3, 110 miles per hour, and it has to pass within a radius of at least 45 miles around Grand Cayman or 30 miles around the sister islands. The wind speed and the trajectory are tracked. We use regularly internationally accepted standards, so we get this information from the Hurricane Center in Miami. So not from somebody who has a wind speed gauge in West Bay or East End and is clocking a gust of 200 miles per hour. It has to be sustained winds of at least 1 minute as monitored and reported on by the Hurricane Center in Miami.
Okay, so it has to be official or data coming from an official source.
Yes.
Per se.
And not that we doubt the integrity of the local sources, but we have to have reinsurance to cover this, and reinsurers require verifiable information.
Right. Very interesting that the 2 triggers, so it has to be a Category 3 hurricane of winds 110 miles per hour at least or more. And the other trigger being the event has had to have a 45-mile radius within the Cayman Islands.
Right. So to put that in perspective a bit, if we go back to 2024, Hurricane Beryl was a Category 3, and it passed just outside that circle. So if Hurricane Beryl had been 6 or 7 miles closer to the Cayman Islands and at the wind speed that it was recorded at the time, anybody who was insured with us would have received a payout, whether they suffered damage or not.
Okay. So both triggers have to be met in
Correct.
order for the payout to happen.
Correct.
Okay. And can you explain why you wouldn't be looking at the damage costs, for example, as a trigger, or maybe the rainfall or storm surge or something like that? So
the objective of this coverage is to provide for incidental expenses. So if you have a policy with us, the traditional component of your policy will respond to the damage. But when a hurricane is coming, what do we do as consumers?
we're, last minute at the grocery store.
Precisely. So
Yes.
we'll find that we can spend anywhere from several hundred to several $1,000s. We may determine that, I've been putting off buying that generator, but just in case power goes, let me go and pick up a generator. Or Hurricane Beryl is a good example because it passed nearby and didn't do much damage, but it blew down some trees. So you have to pay somebody to come in and cut up those trees and remove them, repair the fence that the tree fell on. Coverage for those sort of expenses don't exist anywhere in the world except at CINICO.
Okay.
So what we provide is coverage for those incidental expenses. The traditional expenses and damage are covered by the standard section of the insurance policy, which all other homeowners policies cover as well. But ours is the only policy which provides for these incidental expenses. And when I say in the world, we have been discussing this with the leading reinsurers in the world who provide this coverage for companies all over the world, and none of them have ever seen a product like this. So we are confident in saying that as far as we are aware, this product innovation was created in the little Cayman Islands, and the world is looking to follow suit. I've had a representative from an entity at Lloyd's who was quite astounded because he said that a major US-based insurance company had asked them to develop a similar product for their auto policies. Or did I mention that our motor policies also include a parametric component?
We haven't gotten there. We were going to get there.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are very much ahead of the curve, and we are delighted that we have been able to do so because we are providing an element of coverage which doesn't exist. CINICO is not trying to take over the world. We're not trying to take over the insurance industry. I know that there was some concern in the local industry when it was heard that CINICO was coming into the general insurance space. That's not our intention. Our intention is to hang our hat on product innovation and making more coverage available to all the people of the Cayman Islands.
Which is exactly what you did with the parametric
Precisely.
insurance. Very innovative, especially if the
Precisely.
rest of the world is looking at it.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes as we talk in more detail about parametric insurance with CINICO.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Let's raise a glass for the dads. This Father's Day, join Mykonos Steak Club for the CLICO Brunch, Sunday, June 21st from 11:30 a.m. Celebrate Dad with indulgent brunch favorites, signature specialties, premium drinks, free-flowing Veuve Clicquot, and the vibrant atmosphere Mykonos is known for. Enjoy the sounds of a live DJ and saxophone player as you toast to Dad, Grandpa, or the father figure who deserves it all. Packages start at just $75 CI per person. Call 623-5555 to reserve your table today for the Father's Day CLICO Brunch at Mykonos Steak Club.
Radio Cayman News.
Cayman celebrates the annual King's Birthday Parade.
It wasn't something that I'm expected, but I'm very proud to receive the award.
Delighted, humbled, and very appreciative of the honor.
The award is unbelievable. That's just so humbling.
I just love serving.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking about parametric insurance coverage. We're going to also talk a little bit about home and motor insurance coverage with Michael Gayle, who's the CEO of CINICO. Right before the break, Michael did make a note in one of his answers saying that when CINICO was preparing to enter the general insurance market, that other insurance providers in Cayman were a little, I guess they had concerns about it. Could you address perhaps what some of those concerns were and how you were able to address them?
I'll even go further, Kathy, to say it's not just in Cayman. There was concern in the reinsurance market as well, because worldwide, state-owned insurance companies have tended to march to the beat of a different drummer. And there was concern that we were going to be doing things which would bring some instability to the pricing in the market, and reinsurers don't like that. So to the extent that no local entity has enough capital to carry all of the risk that they insure, reinsurance is essential. And as a consequence of that, we have bent over backwards to ensure that we're conducting our affairs in a manner which meets the approval of the reinsurers whose capital we are deploying. And I think if you speak to those in the local market now, you will not hear that we have been doing anything from a pricing point of view that is destabilizing the market. We are committed to market stability. The government as a whole recognizes the importance of private sector organizations, and we're not setting out to do anything to destabilize or affect the interests of the private entities. We are committed to being a vibrant part of the local industry, not seeking to destabilize it.
Okay. And in just a tiny bit of jest, I guess they should be a little bit worried if you're introducing such innovative, great products.
Well, so
you might get a lot more customers.
So the thing is, we are small. Even if we do get more customers, there's a limit to how much we can do. And to be quite honest, I would be disappointed if the other companies don't follow suit. I expect them eventually to follow suit. And if in so doing, what we have done is we have elevated the bar and created a more comprehensive homeowners product which everybody has access to, not only through CINICO but also through our competitors. Then as a government-owned company, our mandate is the betterment of all of the people of the Cayman Islands, not just our own customers. That's how we see it.
Okay. All right. I like that. So how can somebody get parametric insurance coverage? Is it already included in a premium? Can you opt out of it?
So parametric insurance coverage has been available in Cayman for a while, typically through brokers who are offering parametric options to some commercial clients. As it currently stands, we have embedded it in our homeowners policy. It's not an opt-in or an opt-out. It is included in the coverage at whatever premium you're quoted, it includes the parametric coverage. And let me just explain to you what that looks like. So the parametric coverage limit is 1% of the total sum insured on your building and contents. You have to have a building insured. If you have contents alone, you can't get it. If you have building and contents, it will apply to the combined sum insured. So let's say you have a building with a value, an insured value of $500,000. That would mean that you would have a total parametric coverage for incidental expenses of $5,000. That would be payable if we had a Cat 5. It is scaled down depending on the wind speed. So at the lowest level, the payout is 20% of the maximum. So take that $5,000 limit, that $500,000 home. If we had a Cat 3 which passed within the radius, that person would be entitled to a payout of $1,000. And they wouldn't even have to claim. We have a list of all the people. We would simply notify them within a week or two to expect a payment. How do you want it? And we'd send them a payment of $1,000.
That's great. A week or two. Very, very fast. Okay.
And as I indicated, the higher the sum insured, we currently insure buildings up to a value of $2 million. So if that same person had a claim with a $2 million home, their payout would have been $4,000 for a minimal Cat 3, up to a maximum of $20,000 for a Cat 5.
Okay, so depending on the severity of the storm, as long as it meets the Cat 3 and the 2 triggers, which was the 110 miles per hour
which is the Cat 3 and the proximity
Yes.
in terms of the radius of the
45-mile radius, I think you said. Okay, so as long as that is met, there's a minimum payout, but if it's even higher, like a Cat 5 storm, there's more you can get.
So there are different points. There are points where it's like 20%, 30, 50, 75, depending on the wind speed.
Okay.
So the best case scenario for us is a low-level Cat 3, which does not do much damage, so people aren't really struggling with a lot of damage to their homes, but they have these incidental expenses, and they get a payment for us to help with those incidental expenses. That's the best case scenario.
As you explained with Beryl, for example.
Yeah.
Now, for this parametric insurance to trigger, do all 3 islands have to be impacted?
No, there are different triggers for the islands. So for the sister islands, there's a radius of 30 miles rather than 50 because they're smaller. For Grand Cayman, the radius is 45 miles. So as we have seen, if we go back to 2008 with Hurricane Paloma devastated Cayman Brac, did significant damage to Little Cayman as well, but very little damage here on Grand Cayman.
Yeah.
There is sufficient distance between the islands that what affects one won't necessarily affect the others.
Okay. Now, but in saying that, the people in the sister islands, the event happened, the triggers, they meet those triggers, they would receive the payout, right?
Yep.
But people in Grand Cayman can't expect that.
If the trigger isn't met here.
Okay.
The triggers have to be met everywhere. Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. Now, we have, as you mentioned, very shortly, and I said we're going to talk about the motor insurance, which I think is great. You're also offering the parametric insurance coverage to motor policyholders.
Mm-hmm. So there's if I can back it up a bit, there's a concept known as a protection gap. And the protection gap refers to that financial exposure between the potential losses which can be incurred and those which can be recovered under insurance. So the parametric component on the homeowner's policy, for example, is intended to address some of that protection gap. Under the motor policy, we also recognize that people who may not have homeowners insurance, or whether they do, they will still face additional expenses. So we thought we would add a small parametric component to the motor policy, not to the same extent as under the homeowners policy because the numbers are smaller, but to provide them with some assistance as well. So if you have a comprehensive policy with us, the payout will be $200. If you have a third-party policy, the payout is $100. The difference between the motor and the property is that with the motor, there is no graduated scale. It's just one flat $200
right,
and one flat $100 for the third party. Whereas with the homeowner's policy, the scale is graduated.
Right, because I was just about to ask, does it matter on the value of your vehicle?
No.
But no. Okay. So this is a new product, or somewhat new, that you've offered to.
Yeah, so the parametric component has been embedded in the homeowner's policy since we started to offer those policies in August 2024, but we just introduced the parametric aspect to the motor policies in March of this year. So all policies which were taken out or renewed from March of this year would have the parametric component. So by the time we do a full cycle next year, March, all of the motor policies will have the parametric component.
Okay. I like this. I think it's a great thing. What has the feedback been from the clients that you do have at CINICO that have received the parametric insurance so far, or motor even so far?
It has been very positive. We've received a lot of inquiries. And I'll tell you something else, Kathy, because of the fact that we have been advertising and promoting parametric coverage, it has introduced the concept of parametric insurance to the public at large. And we have been told by brokers, for example, that as a result of that, they are receiving requests for parametric coverage not necessarily associated with CINICO, which is great.
It is great, because that's what you said you'd like to see the other insurance providers being able to offer this product as well, which is great. So can the home and vehicle owners still make a traditional insurance claim?
Sure. The two things are unrelated.
Yeah.
And if, for example, let's take the motor policy. If we make a payout under the motor policy, it will not register as a claim per se and will not affect their no-claim discount. So on a homeowner's policy, there is the traditional component which will respond to the actual damage, just like how every other insurance policy operates. So there is the possibility of getting a parametric payment within a couple of weeks, and then you would go through the process of assessing the damages and submitting a claim and having the claim adjusted, and you'd be able to get a payment for that as well, assuming, of course, that it exceeds the deductible on the policy.
Okay. Now, you mentioned about Jamaica having, I think they had like a catastrophe bond.
Mm-hmm.
Does Cayman have, or is there talks about having it? I swear I've heard something like
right.
this.
So I didn't actually mention catastrophe bond, but let me go there. Mm-hmm. Jamaica has been sort of one of the leaders in the region regarding post-disaster financing. So they have done it in a number of different ways. They have a standby fund available. They have a catastrophe bond, which I think was sold through the World Bank. And then they have CCRIF, which is something separate from the catastrophe bond. Right. So Jamaica was able to avail themselves of all of these sources to put cash in the pockets of the government to facilitate the recovery process. Now, the Cayman Islands government has coverage through CCRIF. As far as I am aware, I know that they have inquired about catastrophe bonds. That's above my pay grade. I'm not able to say whether or not that was pursued, but I am aware that they have looked at expanding the scope of their protection. As to what has actually taken place, you'd have to refer that to our good finance minister.
Understood. From your perspective, would this be a great thing for the Cayman Islands?
Absolutely. The challenge is always, I studied economics at various stages of my life and career. I'm not an economist by any means, but there are a couple of concepts which have stuck in my mind. And one of them is maximizing total utility subject to a budgetary constraint. So we know that there are always things that you want to do, but sometimes you don't have the finances to enable you to do it. So I say this to say, I am aware that the government has made inquiries about it. I know they have an interest. As to whether or not it can fit into their immediate budget constraints, I'm unable to say.
Okay, gotcha. We are going to talk a little bit more about the other developments going on with CINICO. We're going to take our last commercial break right now, but we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Sure.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The moment that will forever stay with me, and for so many Caymanians, was during Hurricane Ivan. When everything else failed, Radio Cayman stood strong. You were the only station that survived Ivan the Terrible, and your announcers worked around the clock, 24 hours a day, keeping us informed, grounded, comforted in our darkest hours. Radio Cayman was our light. Congratulations on 50 years of excellence. Thank you for your service, and thank you for being Cayman's voice, strength, and steady presence. Radio Cayman will always be my number one.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I am speaking with Michael Gayle, who's the CEO for CINICO. And we were heavily talking about parametric insurance, which I think is just such an interesting product that CINICO is offering. We know that it's built into the premium for the home insurance policy, right? Mm-hmm. And it will eventually be built into the premium for the motor?
No, it's in since March for all policies affected or renewed since March.
Okay, which is excellent. So it's on the motor policyholders and it's on the home policyholders. So I think it's a great product that you're offering. And as you said, hopefully the other insurance providers will follow suit, per se. This is a great thing for residents. So when it comes to other innovations that we can expect from CINICO, well, maybe over the next year or so, what do you have planned?
So there are a couple of things. There's something else that we have done recently as well. We spoke earlier about the protection gap, and we recognized that an area where people struggle to get insurance is for young drivers. For good reason, insurance companies over the years historically have found that there tends to be a higher rate of accidents from inexperienced drivers, young drivers in particular, and as a consequence of that, there is frequently a reluctance for insurance companies to offer coverage, which makes it difficult for people who have teenage kids just out of school, etc. Yeah. Or when they do offer coverage, the increase in the premium is prohibitive. So what we did is we partnered with Inspire Cayman to put in place a safe driver program. We sponsored the purchase of 2 driving simulators, and there's a program in place which involves 4 hours of class time and 9 hours of simulator time, where these young people are taught how to drive on the roads in the Cayman Islands. They then have to take an exam, a test at the end of the program, and if they achieve a score of 90% or higher and otherwise qualify for insurance with CINICO, their premium is discounted. It's not subject to the full extent of the loading for young driver premiums. So in doing this, we are facilitating coverage for young drivers. We are equipping young drivers to be able to better cope with the road conditions, but also for the wider public, we are making the roads safer for the wider public. Again, part of our mandate as a government-owned company. And we're hoping, we've started this program some months ago, and we're hoping at some point as it develops to get it into the high schools.
Okay, I like this. So this is, in a sense, if people want that, or they don't want their premium to go higher, if they're putting a younger person to be driving on their insurance policy. For CINICO, for you guys to know or feel, okay, this person has gone through a driver kind of safe program. It's under our program that we control. We know what they have to go through, so we feel confident that we don't have to raise that premium for them.
And we even had a case, Kathy, where an employer was bringing somebody in on a work permit who obviously would not have driven in Cayman, an adult, and they called us and said, we would like to run this person through your program so that they would become familiar with the terms of the roads in Cayman. So it has wider implications and application.
This is a great idea. When I moved here, all I did was drive down West Bay Road. I would not go on a roundabout. Mm-hmm. Do not put me on a roundabout. Now it's no problem, but it took maybe about 2 months before I felt comfortable enough, because it was driving on the other side of the road for me, and a little bit different rules per se. So I think that's a great idea.
So that's one example of our innovation.
Mm-hmm.
In the health insurance space, there are two things that we're looking at. One of which is that we are getting ready to introduce a low-cost product. Low cost, of course, being relative. The low-cost product which exists in the market now is the standard health insurance contract, the SHIC, in respect of which there are certain elements of that coverage which are inadequate. So we have identified protection gap and are coming out with a product which will offer higher benefits in some of those critical areas. So that should be on the market. We are hoping maybe sometime in the third quarter of this year. So we're just sort of getting everything aligned before we release that. But something else I wanted to touch on.
We're going to have to talk about that when it's coming.
Absolutely, absolutely. Something else that I wanted to touch on as well. As a country and as a company, we can't just keep spending money on people who are sick. Last year, CINICO paid out close to $250 million on health insurance claims. We have to stop people getting sick. And therefore, CINICO is and has been looking for opportunities to get involved in the wellness space. And we are supporting an initiative which is kicking off this Saturday at the Indigo Hotel. It's called the Cayman Islands Health and Wellness, CIMHALS, Cayman Islands Men's Health and Lifestyle Summit.
Yes.
The acronym is CIMHALS. And this is focusing on issues which affect men. Statistically, men tend to be less proactive about sorting out their health. We are trying to play our part in changing that. We have sort of relatively broad participation and support. We have support from the Ministry of Health. We have Minister Wilkes is going to be giving the opening remarks. Minister Isaac Rankin is supposed to be, she's scheduled to participate in a panel discussion, and others as well. Health City, HSA. So it was initiated, full disclosure, it was initiated by a group of men in the church that I attend, but it's not a church event. And why I say full disclosure is we at CINICO, we are carefully navigating it, because if I'm involved on both sides, there can be the appearance of conflict of interest.
Yes.
So we are navigating that very carefully, ensuring that we're putting all of the internal controls in place to eliminate that prospect. For example, I am not involved in the decision-making process within CINICO, even though I am the CEO, because we have to be sure it's an initiative which we want to get behind, and we don't want it tainted by the prospect or the thought of it being something where there is an inherent conflict.
I understand that. I completely understand.
And as I mentioned, Kathy, it was initiated by men at the church which I attend, which is the First Assembly of God, but it's not a church event. It's an event intended to be island-wide, not just island-wide, country-wide. We're going to do something on the BRAC as well. We have had a visit to the prisons, speaking to the men there, and there are going to be engagements throughout the year. We plan it to be an ongoing engagement.
Okay, excellent. I think that's great.
And it's at the Indigo this Saturday, 9 to 12. It's free. We're serving breakfast for all who come. So we encourage anybody who has not yet registered to go to the website, cimhals.org, that's CIMHALS.org, and register.
Okay, wonderful.
And help us play a part in making Cayman's men healthier.
I got a question that came via WhatsApp.
Sure.
So we only got a couple minutes, so I want to get this question out. I think there's a couple questions. If you transfer your insurance for your car from another provider and you're over 65 and had no claims, does CINICO give you a no claims discount?
The short answer to that is yes. If you come into Effect Insurance, you complete a proposal form, and once you satisfy all the criteria and you are able to confirm that you have had no claims, we will transfer the no claim discount from your existing company. So let's say, for example, you were insured with company X and you were enjoying 60% no claim discount, and you come to CINICO and you complete the form and you tick all the boxes and you otherwise satisfy the criteria, we will offer you the 60% no claim discount.
Okay, excellent. We're at the end of the show. Pretty much you have a minute left. If there's any other important information you want to let people know about, anything that I might not have covered.
Well, just in general terms, Kathy, I just wanted to say I regard my tenure at CINICO as a privilege. I'm privileged to be able to serve the people of the Cayman Islands, and in my capacity as Deputy Chairman of CCRIF, that privilege is extended because I'm also able to serve the people of the wider region. And I regard this as a tremendous honor and privilege.
That's wonderful. I think it's great when you can express that and show your gratitude in what you're doing, because it just shows your purpose and where you're at. And a lot of us sometimes we struggle in our purpose. So when somebody can express, this is my purpose and this is what I'm happy doing, I think that's a beautiful thing.
And my team feels the same way.
Excellent. And we're going to have you on more because there's a lot more happening with CINICO that we want to get down to the details and explain. For me, especially, I want to understand the insurance industry a lot more. And we can't without these conversations.
We're happy to do that.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you. We're going to be in touch. Thanks for joining us this morning. It was great to have you on.
My pleasure, Kathy.
It was a pleasure to have you on the show as well. And we're going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news. I got a next conversation. It's going to be about cardiovascular health and cardiac CT, progress with that. So that's the next segment conversation. Michael, thank you again. And, I might have a World Cup question for y'all at the very end of the show. That's going to come around 9:30. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. All right, let's go to the news.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride. Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Cayman Airways announces the temporary suspension of its services between Grand Cayman and Havana, Cuba, effective June 26th. This follows a, quote, sustained decline in demand and ongoing challenges affecting the route's commercial viability. Customers holding reservations on affected flights will be contacted directly by Cayman Airways. In international news, Moscow has come under the largest Ukrainian attack since the start of the full-scale war, with close to 200 drones hitting targets around the Russian capital and setting columns of thick smoke billowing high into the sky. 17 people were wounded in the region, according to the governor. Almost 1,000 drones and 4 Ukrainian cruise missiles were intercepted and destroyed across the country in 24 hours. Russia's defense ministry was quoted as saying an oil depot was also struck in the southern Rostov region, where one person was killed. And children vaccinated at age 12 and 13 against the human papillomavirus have close to zero risk of dying from cervical cancer before the age of 30, according to new landmark research. The first study of its kind shows deaths have fallen sharply since school-age girls began being offered it in 2008, and around 200 lives have been saved in England so far thanks to the vaccine. Between 2020 and 2024, no cervical cancer deaths were recorded in women between the ages of 20 and 24, the first time that's happened in over a 5-year period. Without vaccination, around 23 deaths would have been expected. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz, and I'm your host, Kathy Miller. We now are going to be talking a little bit about the leading cause of death in the Cayman Islands, which is cardiovascular disease. Yes, that's right. If you did not know, now you know, and you should be knowing this because we did discuss this before in regards to the Ministry of Health STEPS survey that was released. Oh, geez, what is it? Yeah, it was released at the end of 2025 or 2024. I can't remember anymore. But anyways, we should know that cardiovascular disease is the number 1 killer in the Cayman Islands, and that's above cancer. So it matters to us, you know, making sure we're taking care of ourselves, our heart, it matters to us. And today we're highlighting the CHF Cardiovascular Conference 2026 at the Kimpton Seafire Resort, themed Saving More Lives individually and at scale. So with me this morning are Dr. Manuel Mantecon from University or UHealth International, University of Miami Health, yes.
Nice.
Along with the keynote presenter, Dr. Yiannis Chatzizisis.
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 There you go.
Okay.
You got it.
You know, I said it right so many other times.
It's the stress of the moment.
I'm just going to say Dr. Yiannis. Yes, we're going to do this. Are you good with that? All right. So he's also the professor and chief of cardiovascular medicine at the University of Miami Miller School of Medicine and a global leader in cardiac CT. We're going to explore what is to expect from his presentation at the conference and how cardiac CT is reshaping heart care and what our listeners need to know to protect their hearts and their health. So good morning, doctors. How are you doing? How are we?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Ms. Cathy. Thank you for the opportunity to be here on behalf of UHealth International and University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. We appreciate the opportunity to be here with you and everybody else. We're also thanking the Cayman Heart Fund for the opportunity to be there with them later on today. And it's really a pleasure to be in the Cayman Islands again. I've been here since 1997, been coming to the Cayman Islands.
Yes.
So it's like...
And you have a great memory of when you meet people as well.
Yes, I try. Yes. Yes, I do. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem. When you sat here, like, yes, we spoke about you had a wrist injury or a hand injury. I'm like, yes. And it was like maybe 3 years ago we spoke.
Yes,
so.
yes. But thank you for the opportunity, and thank you, Radio Cayman, and everybody else that, organized this for us.
No problem.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a very important conversation to have because as I open leading with cardiovascular disease is the number 1 killer in the Cayman Islands.
And I want to thank the Cayman community, physicians and patients, like anybody on the Cayman Islands, it's communities. It's a very lovely community. They know me, and a lot of them, really go deep in my heart. Thank you.
Excellent. Awesome. I'm sure a lot of great relationships over the years, right?
Yes.
Yes. So for listeners who may not be familiar, what exactly is cardiac CT? And why is it becoming such an important tool in diagnosing coronary artery disease?
Okay, we start with the hardcore question.
I thought that was a basic intro summary. What exactly is cardiac CT?
Cardiac CT is a CT essentially of the heart.
What's a CT now?
CT is a CAT scan, a computed tomography scan. So the patient enters the room, wears this scanner with a big bore there, a tomographic scanner as we call it. Patient goes there on the table. we have a vein on the side. We inject some contrast, and then the patient goes through the tube, which is like a scan of takes literally a few seconds, and then comes out.
When you say you inject a contrast?
We inject the dye.
A dye, okay.
The dye that goes into the heart arteries to make the arteries more discrete, more visible, while we do the tomographic scan. So the scanner, as we get through with the table, again, the whole imaging takes like a few seconds here, but as we get through, it cuts cross-sectional images of the heart and the heart arteries, of course, which are full of dye, full of contrast. And then we take all the pieces together, we put them all together, and we create the heart image and the imaging of the heart arteries around the heart muscle. And then we have special software to review those and come up with the results.
Okay, has there been great development in technology with cardiac CT over the last couple of years?
Yeah, actually, it's more than a couple of years. When we started back, CAT scan has been there for a long time, and it has been a revolution in imaging itself. But the special application to the heart arteries required some advancements because of the beating heart. You need high resolution in order to capture the motion of the heart. That was an advancement. We came up with specific protocols, if you want, to take all the pieces together of the beating heart and make them like one cohesive picture that makes sense. It started slow in the past. It has been out now for at least 20 plus years. But over the last literally 5 years or so, the CAT scan has taken off. The traditional way of imaging the heart to assess for coronary artery disease was the so-called stress test, with being on the treadmill, walking there with and then combining this with echocardiography or with nuclear imaging. Over the last 5 years, it has shifted from predominantly these stress tests to predominantly cardiac CT. In the US right now, the mainstream of imaging of the heart for patients with suspected heart artery blockages used to be the stress test. Now it shifts towards the cardiac coronary, or so we call it CT angiography. And the latest advancement that is awaited is new scanners, which are dedicated for this imaging of the heart arteries. Scanners which can give us 5 times crisper images with, believe it or not, half the radiation.
Excellent.
And that's totally new technology. The companies in the field are investing a lot. University of Miami is in the forefront. We are bringing these scanners in the upcoming few months. We'll have the first one in by the end of the year, the current year of 26, and then more will come down the line. We'll be among the first institutions, the few institutions in the country that have access to these technologies. But as the things evolve, I believe everybody in the country and beyond the US will have access to these very high resolution scanners, which again they give us half the radiation, so we gain in all aspects.
Okay. Is there a different cost per se for the patient compared to the regular stress test to the CT?
It's not going to be, the cost is not going to go to the patient because the scanner is indeed more expensive. The cost will be absorbed by, at least in our case, from the university.
Okay.
But it will not be translated to the patients per se. So the cost of the scan will be exactly the same.
Okay.
I don't think these are scalable technologies, so I don't expect, the more they penetrate into the market, the lower the price to buy them, and I think that over time it's going to be kind of like it's not going to create any major disturbance, if you want, financially to our patients. It's like the technologies with the iPhones and everything. They start expensive, then down the line they kind of like become more. They find the equilibrium.
Oh, I'm waiting for the iPhone to find the equilibrium per se. All right. So Dr. Yiannis, as I mentioned, that cardiovascular disease in the Cayman Islands is the leading cause of death here. And I mean, you're a global expert in this. So from your perspective, why do you think cardiovascular disease is so widespread, especially here, but also globally?
Yeah, it's not only the Cayman. We discussed about this last year as well. It's truth is that it's beyond the Cayman as well. It's globally. It's the number one killer globally, and it's very prevalent. The so-called cardiovascular includes, of course, stroke, and of course heart attack, which is the primary. Infections also play some role, and cancer, absolutely. But cardiovascular at this point is number one.
Is hypertension and cholesterol also included there?
Yeah, so these are the so-called, we can discuss about these, the so-called risk factors.
Okay. Which
is the reason why we have cardiovascular disease, and the reason why cardiovascular disease is number one killer globally. Why? As you said, the risk factors are so frequent. And which are the risk factors in the community here and beyond? Hypertension. Half of us have hypertension. And of those who have hypertension, high blood pressure, a quarter, maybe more than that, they don't have good control of the blood pressure. So imagine, half of us have hypertension, and many of us untreated hypertension, many of us treated but not optimally, not well controlled. Having their high blood pressure over the years, over time, it's kind of like an irritation, a stress, if you want, to the heart arteries, to the carotid arteries, to the brain arteries, to the kidney arteries, to the peripheral, to the leg. And then over time, they contribute to plaque build-up and stenosis. Number two, high cholesterol. Many of us, including Cayman, of course, have high cholesterol. And the cholesterol, the excessive cholesterol, is circulating in the bloodstream and is deposited, accumulates in the heart arteries, as I said, in the brain arteries, in the carotids, in the kidney. And along with hypertension, now we have two risk factors, which together, they make things worse. And then you have hypertension, which imposes stress in the arteries, in the vessels. You have the high cholesterol, which is circulating and goes there, the excessive part, and deposits there. And then over time, they build up a plaque which at some point becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and starts giving us heart attacks, angina, and death. Diabetes, number one, the most frequent risk factor at this point, which goes out of control in our societies. Why? Because we have access to sugars, right? We eat processed food, access to bad sugars, not the fruit sugars, but bad sugars. This is really, at this point, out of control. The whole continent, in Southeast Asia, India, China, massively exposed to sugar, low quality sugar that is giving them diabetes. And same with the Europe and US. Obesity, another big issue. People do not take care of themselves. They're not careful with what they eat. They don't exercise. Accumulating extra weight is like a bomb, like an inflammation in the belly, circulating around, wandering around with a bomb, like kamikaze. And then, of course, on top of this stress, the emotional stress, with your business, with your family or whatever. We live in a stressful societies. I'm not quite sure you have so much stress here in Cayman, or you shouldn't. If you do, you shouldn't. But still, that's another risk factor as well. So taken all together, it creates essentially a cluster of risk factors, a situation that unless we take care of our diabetes, control our glucose, what we eat, our cholesterol, our extra weight, exercise, try to reduce our stress, all these things will make things worse over the time. And, in the interest of time, I just wanted to highlight that stress is very, very important, the emotional stress. There have been a kind of a study of the blue zones on the planet. One of those is in Greece, on an island there. They live like on average, I think Cuba as well, they live forever.
And Costa Rica as well.
Costa Rica as well. So they found, in Japan too, that if you connect them all these areas, they have something in common, which is called peaceful life. They're not very rich. They're not very wealthy. They're not very, running amazing businesses, but they are living in a peaceful societies. So in Greece, for example, they even like smoke on a daily basis. They they're not rich at all, but they eat fish from the sea, and they have siesta. Like sleeping, napping during day, like at noon, sleeping well at night, and live a life without stress. Again, stress is very, very important, especially in the Western societies nowadays.
Important.
Yeah.
It's prevalent. It's there.
Yes.
You can't ignore it. Yeah.
And smoking too. I forgot to say the smoking, right? Even though we try to minimize smoking exposure, still people tend to smoke a lot. Yeah. So altogether, they create a problem.
We got to go to a quick commercial break right now. When we come back, I want to hear what attendees can expect from your presentation at the Cardiovascular Conference this year. Okay?
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Cayman founders, this is your moment to build beyond borders. The Enterprise Cayman Launch Labs Incubator is helping Cayman's entrepreneurs build scalable, investor-ready ventures right from Cayman. Over 14 weeks, collaborate with global mentors, take part in expert-led workshops, strengthen your strategy, and prepare to pitch to investors. Powered by DMZ Toronto, this is your opportunity to build locally and scale globally. Applications close June 30th. Visit enterprisecayman.KY and apply today. Build in Cayman, scale globally.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The 25th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Hope is Here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 28th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Awesome performances by Rico Rolando, Erica Asai, actress Caitlin Tyson, Dequan Smith, UCCI Dance Company, Radiance Dance Studio, Center Point Limited, John Gray Kitchen Band, and Starlight Elite Strings, Michelle T, and more. Tickets cost $15 CI prepaid or $20 at the gate, and available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Talent Exposition of the Arts, Hope, hosted by Anika Jefferson and Lloyd Parker. June 28th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Gates open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Part proceeds from this event to benefit the Pines Retirement Home.
Did you know there are over 100 Adventist-owned businesses right here in the Cayman Islands? Adventist entrepreneurs are making a powerful impact across Cayman. Join us on Sunday, June 28th at 2 p.m. at the Lion Center, Grand Cayman for the ASI Cayman Business and Career Expo. Explore products and services, enjoy exclusive discounts, free samples, giveaways, and exciting prizes. Need a wellness check? Enjoy free health screenings and relaxing massage therapy. Thinking about your future career? Young people, students, and job seekers, whether you're looking to grow your business, plan your future, network with professionals, or simply enjoy a great community event, this is the place to be. Admission is absolutely free. The ASI Cayman Business and Career Expo. Showcase, connect, succeed. Sunday, June 28th, 2 p.m. at the Lion Center. For more information, visit asikayman.interamerica.org.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
All right, welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking about cardiac CT. In studio with me, I have Dr. Manuel Mantecon from UHealth International, and the keynote speaker for the conference that is happening, the cardiac conference that is coming up, Dr. Yiannis
Chatzizisis.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Well, I'll get to it. One day I'll get there.
Takes 5 times to repeat it.
Okay, I've only done it twice, 2-3 times now. We're getting there. So what can people expect from your presentation at the conference?
Yes, thank you, Kathy, again for hosting us here today.
No problem.
Beautiful show, and you're amazing.
Thank you.
With Dr. Mantecon, we're representing the University of Miami here in the Cayman Heart Foundation Conference, the annual conference. We've been here like last year as well. So my talk is going to be about the latest in cardiac CT, and I'm going to focus mostly on how cardiac CT is changing the management of patients with so-called coronary artery disease, with blockages in the heart arteries. There is some latest evolutions. Science advances very quickly here, and it seems that at this point cardiac CT plays a role in both prevention and therapy of coronary artery disease. We do the CAT scan, as I said, very quickly, a few seconds through the scanner. We get the images of the heart arteries, and then we have a representation, imaging of what's going on there. If we don't see any big stenosis, that's good news for the patient. However, now we have the ability to map the whole plaque, how much cholesterol built up a patient has on his or her heart arteries. And based on this plaque mapping, plaque burden as we call it, we can individualize in a very precision way the risk for future heart attacks. And based on this risk, we can then identify what is the medications or combination of medications needed to achieve the optimal bad cholesterol management to prevent downstream events. So essentially, it's a precision medicine approach. We individualize the risk of a patient for future heart attacks based on the plaque mapping from CT, and then from there we individualize the target of cholesterol and what medications we need to prescribe to achieve this target. That's very, very important versus one size fits all, versus all the patients get the same medication to achieve the same goal of cholesterol, which should not be the same, depends on the individual patient. When it comes to treatment as well, for those who have blockages, now they're not in the field of prevention, they have already developed coronary artery disease. For those at this point, we have a wonderful opportunity to plan a procedure. We can measure the flow there, and then before we go to the cath lab and do invasive procedures to treat the problem, to fix the problem with stents or balloons, we have an understanding of what's going on, and this gives us a very, very good information to plan the procedure. And by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. So essentially, planning is very, very important to deliver precise therapy and good outcomes for the patient. So both prevention and treatment can be achieved nowadays with our cardiac CT scanners.
It's wonderful. I think you hit a very key word when you said precise, because that was the exact word I was going to say. So from what I'm understanding, the cardiac CD methodology is a lot more precise as opposed to that stress test, for example.
Correct.
And it will give you a lot better of an understanding of how to treat the patient and the medications that they'll need. Because as you said, it's not the same treatment and medication for every single patient.
Yeah. Very tailored, very individualized, as I said, very precise, very accurate, very consistent. And that's a revolution on how we approach and treat patients. And this paradigm can be shifted to other diseases and therapies as well. Identifying the individual risk and then targeting this individual risk and patient with specific medications is what makes a difference. Because, as I said, it's not one size fits all.
But medication isn't something that we want to keep people on forever. At least I would assume that. I don't know how some, how some
if you need it.
medical companies might feel. But in saying that, is this approach also a way for a doctor to assess, okay, we can put you on medication for a minute, but these are also the other perhaps lifestyle changes you do have to make. But that always does come up to the individual being treated.
Absolutely. As you said, the medication should not be misconceived from the patients as the only therapy. The mainstream therapy is lifestyle changes. If you don't take care of your smoking, if you don't cut smoking, if you don't exercise, if you don't lose weight, if you don't do all those things, medications will not work or will not optimally work. Medications are complementary on top of your decision to change your lifestyle and try to live better and longer life. That's your conscious decision.
And realistically, Dr. Yiannis, how much are you seeing of people actually changing their lifestyle?
Yeah, that's.
Are you seeing
it's
that?
called adherence in medicine. This term is that we use, and that's a real issue, a real challenge. I believe that it's not easy to change bad habits, but we are human beings with intelligence, and at the end of the day, we have to take ownership of our own good health and our longevity.
Yeah.
And decisions.
Agree. I think we're taught to take care of so many things around us, but not we tend to look at ourselves last in what we need to take care of.
Right.
Should be the opposite, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We only have a couple minutes. And Dr. Manuel, I haven't really heard from you.
Well, I don't want to interrupt. I mean, it's really appreciated. But thank you again, Ms. Kathy, for allowing us to be here. Also, a lot of people, they know me, and University of Miami is UHealth system is the whole entity of University of Miami. A lot of people know the Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, which is the only NCI, National Cancer Institute, nationally in South Florida and actually all the Southeast United States with all of the cancer specialties, including pediatrics. And the Center of Excellence for that. The other thing is Bascom Palmer. A lot of people, they think Bascom Palmer is just an entity by itself. It's part of the University of Miami Health Systems. Also, UHealth International, we're part of the University of Miami. And it's the only academic-based hospital in South Florida. The only one in all specialties. Our physicians are subspecialized, like you see Dr. Yiannis, speaking on how his expertise, comes along in a long way. And basically all of the physicians in University of Miami is like that. Our patients, want to come to University of Miami locally, and it's like we try to get them there. The international ones, they always come through the department, the department, UHealth International. And, I always give out my number. My cell phone is 305-951-1673. It hasn't changed in years.
I have your card somewhere.
Yes, everybody should have the number. If they need to, we support here a lot the physicians locally, and it's important things, support them because, sometimes you don't have all the capabilities of the different resources that we have. But we always support the local physicians, and especially the Cayman community is really in my heart. It's a big event that the Cayman Heart Fund is doing. Today is over 200, overall medical personnel attending, and is limited at 200 because the place, just is packed.
Right.
It'll be there. And I'll be there. I'll have a booth, and with Dr. Yiannis will be there. And it's really a pleasure. Thank you for being in the Cayman Islands again. From the heart, I'm here for you.
No problem. Awesome to have you. And thank you for continuing to be available for the Cayman Islands as well.
My pleasure.
That's a great relationship that you have formed. The conference is this weekend?
Yes, it's today.
What's
today? From here, we go over there.
Okay. I thought it was on the weekend. Okay. All right. So it's today.
No, it's only today.
One day.
One day.
Is it completely... is the registration full?
Yeah, this registration is full, yes.
All right. Okay, so
200.
People are getting a little bit, if they haven't gone to the conference or can't go, they're going to get a little bit from us this morning.
Right.
So if there's one last message that you would like to share with our listeners when it comes to what they should take away about their heart health and early detection, what would that message be?
The message is that we should be mindful of our own health, health. Be conscious, take care of risk factors, take care of our weight, exercise, try to minimize our emotional stress, stop smoking, drink thoughtfully, follow the doctor's advice, get our pills, do our routine checkups, and then don't stay away from what technology can give us to individualize the risk and tell us what's going on. Going to a doctor annually and having a checkup using the latest technologies is something that's very important. And another message that I would like to, as a side note here, is that you're not alone here in Cayman. You have amazing facilities, health facilities, and you have a wonderful university next door. We have with technology, with telehealth nowadays, the ability to consult, our patients, your patients. We can teleconference with our colleagues, share images if you want, share expertise. The university at this point has a mission to support the islands, to support Latin America, Central America with knowledge and expertise. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of this, because you need alliance, you need help in this mission.
Yeah, we do. We need to have the conversation and keep it going.
Yes.
Keep the conversation alive in front of people, yeah.
It would be great, yes.
Thank you so much for joining me on The Buzz this morning. Look forward to having you back. Yes. Best of luck in your presentation today, Dr. Yiannis, and at the conference this afternoon. All day. Today, not on the weekend like I thought.
No, it's the whole day.
All right.
No, but today all day. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks.
And everybody else out there, I know it's I feel like we're kind of starting week 2 now of World Cup, so I'm going to say, let's go Canada, because the Canadian in me wants to see Canada go through. And of course, I would like to see Bosnia go through. So I would like to see from this group, both Bosnia and Canada. Of course, I have to go for Canada a little bit more. Switzerland, you're not going to make it. All right. Enjoy the rest of the World Cup games today. If you're going to the cardiac conference today, I hope you enjoy it. Definitely ask Dr. Yiannis some questions. He's a global expert in cardiac CT. And thanks for hanging out with me on The Buzz. I will be back with you next week. The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services, and Kirk Market.